Counter-narrative news, just a quick reflection. Around the time of the anti-war demonstrations in the early 2000s and also the solidarity marches with the occupied Afghan people who were being devastated through a US and British-led NATO occupation there and a conflict and a war, but also in solidarity with the Palestinian people. So we would often go to these protests having woken up or not slept and observing these different massacres that the British, the US government and the Israeli colonial occupation forces were meting out to Palestinians, Iraqis, Afghans, etc. And obviously we would be really devastated and upset, but then we would go to protests and then you would have people singing and dancing, banging drums, samba bands, you know, often like creating this very kind of festival type of culture. It's not that they shouldn't have done that, because we should welcome a diversity of forces and actions and anti-war behavior on protest, but it was just very, very strange and difficult to come basically grieving in solidarity and in upset and in anger, and then on the other hand seeing white people do samba bands on the protests. It was just a very strange and stark juxtaposition, which then informs notions of the lack of political, cultural, independent self-organization of Global South communities, particularly the victims of British colonialism, that they weren't able to forge really independent organizations through this, except the pioneering organization that stuck out at this time, which was Che Lele or the Che Lele Youth Brigades, who very much so advocated an independent, anti-colonial, radical socialist youth movement, engaging in Palestine solidarity and in the anti-war movement in general. And still, that challenge still remains the case going forward. It just remains strange that how, you know, all the diaspora communities of British colonialism from the so-called Third World or Global South have not created a revolutionary anti-British state organisation. And the fact that they haven't is a victory of the British state's divide and rule and racist policies. And that still remains a challenge going forward. Many thanks.